How you doing, guys? Tomatosaucin here, and today I am announcing that I am slowly coming back to Wrath of the Lich King, but let's talk about why, right? So you got a lot of stuff going on between Retail WoW, Diablo 4, Classic WoW Hardcore, and a new patch coming to Wrath of the Lich King, Trial of the Grand Crusader. Now, if you followed this channel, you know I play, a lot of melees throughout different versions of the game. I enjoy Warrior and Retail, obviously, a little bit of Demon Hunter. I play them all. I've played them all at a pretty high level. I love Death Knight. And I just don't think Retail WoW is in the best spot right now. Let's talk about why, right? So 10.1 recently came out. You had some critical strike nerfs, which was good for the health of the game. But at the same time, you also threw in, healing nerfs, which, kind of, I think you kind of offset your crit nerfs at that point, right? You got a lot of different set bonuses that are also, giving people more critical strike damage as well, which, I don't think is putting the game in the best spot, especially for like healers who have already kind of disliked the state of solo shuffle, right? I think that's evident by the long queue times that we have now, or that we've always had in solo shuffle. But we're in the beginning of the season. Generally, the beginning of the season is the most populated time for any portion of a WoW season. And right now it's just not, right? It doesn't feel that good. It actually feels like when you're in Dragonflight, that there's people around, but nobody's really doing the same thing. Mythic Plus, okay, that one stays kind of fresh. It's a good time. I tank some keys. Maybe I go in and kind of finish out some of the things I was trying to do from a Mythic Plus perspective. But overall, I don't think this is a great PvP season. I don't think the rewards are really there. For the first time in a long time, I don't think that the elite bonuses are very good. I'll definitely go to unlock the Shadow Flame weapon enchant because I think that's cool. I'm just about there already. You only have to hit 2100 for your weapon enchant. And then I'll probably finish out an elite push, sometime when I feel like coming back. But right now, let's talk about the main reason I am coming back to Wrath of the Lich King. And it's pretty simple, right? Death Knight in Retail is in the worst spot that it's ever been in. It's generally considered an unplayable class. I think Unholy Death Knight is full of unhealthy button bloat for the game. Whereas, Frost Death Knight is a complete one-trick pony, right? And that's not to say that Frost Death Knight is any better in, the classic version of the game. It definitely is from a rating perspective, but from a PvP perspective, it's not the PvP spec. Let's put it that way, right? Unholy is definitely widely considered the more PvP friendly spec in this version of the game. Frost is definitely a battleground stomper. But Unholy is, kind of like the piece de resistance in PvP in Wrath of the Lich King. That's because it meshes with a lot of different, classes. You can play it with TSG, you can play it with Elemental Shaman, you can play it with Warlock, you can play it with Shadow Priest. You can play it with just about anything, right? It's a good time, and that's kind of how it is in Retail as well, right? Like Unholy is very flexible. You can play it with a lot of different classes. But right now it is more of a support class than it's ever been. The Go is 8 GCDs full of just what I will consider complete and utter button bloat. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good at all right now. And Frost, if you were not playing Frost DK with a Devastation Evoker, or maybe like, a demo lock, like I made widely popular for a while there, or a Boomkin or a Windwalker Monk, right? You just need something that can complement your RMP setup, right? You're the rogue, the mage, and the priest in the Frost DK setup. It's no one's helping you out. You're setting up all three, and then you and your teammates are knocking them down. And that's kind of fun for a little while until you realize, like, hey, I'm a 1 minute spec, and I basically am just running away trying to live for an entire minute in between my goes, and it's not as fun, right? So brings me back to why I'm coming back to Wrath, right? I've played Warrior at a very high level in Classic. I've played Rogue at a very high level in Classic in both PvP and PvE. I'm more of an assassination rogue player, but I've done both pretty well, right? At the end of the day, I just think that Wrath Arena, and it's very rare for me to say this, Wrath Arena is in a much better place than Retail Arena right now. Yeah, the games are quick still, but you have more agency over the game, right? Whereas in Retail, it's it's been a cooldown trading, festival for a very long time. And I think I finally have just gotten to the point where it's not as fun for me as something new. And Wrath is old, but at the same time it's new after the time I've put into Retail. So this isn't a goodbye to Retail, but this is definitely a hello to Wrath of the Lich King. Definitely coming back to Wrath. As you can see, I'm only level 65 on my DK, but since I really can't get that same DK fix that I enjoy in Retail, I always either main Death Knight or alt it. I am going to go back to Wrath and do what I have never done, which is level a classic Death Knight, and I'll have some content coming around there as I level this guy up and learn all of the inner workings of classic Wrath DK from PvE and a PvP perspective. Now, I also have some other things going on in life, where I won't be able to give the full commitment that I usually do to some of these guides. But I'll have some content, right? The channel will definitely keep on moving forward, albeit a little bit slower than it traditionally would. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope all my Wrath viewers are excited to see some Wrath content because it's coming back. Yeah, and I will see you guys soon. So have a great day, have a great week, have a great month, and have a great year. Tomatosaucin out. Wrath of the Lich King back in.